All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Tradition Meets Innovation call. If you're new here or new to my face, my name is Angie, and I am the Product Training and Development Manager for RIMAN North America. Today's call is fantastic. Not only if you joined us at Roadmap and want to get a refresh, or if you weren't able to attend, this is perfect for you to get the major news and announcements on product development. And so in general, this Tradition Meets Innovation call is on the third Wednesday of every month where we do not have Product University. And so stay tuned for a Product University update towards the end of the call. But otherwise, this allows us to keep in tune with our scientific roots and to keep you guys updated on the education and all there is to know about the science behind our products. So without further ado, I'm going to get started and I'm going to share all the fantastic announcements about products that we had for Roadmap 2025. All right, so these slides are exactly the slides that were shown on stage. So if you were with us, you may remember them. And if you weren't, it's like you get to experience them. And the beginning slides I'll share with you all were from our GM and CMO of Western Markets, Miss Betty Perez. And she took the stage in our general session 1 on Saturday and made some fantastic announcements about commitments we have to developing our portfolio. Of course, we have fantastic offerings in the skincare, the hair and body care, makeup, and even the nutrition, but there's always so much more room for growth. And we're already working behind the scenes on some of the different innovation that you'll see in the next couple of slides. So one of the most fantastic things that we announced at Roadmap, is that we are expanding our makeup portfolio. Yes, we had our cushion, we had our BB, and now we have the Set and Stay makeup spray, the lip tints, the Glow Up Lip Oil, but we still felt like it wasn't necessarily that we had a makeup line. It's just that we had some makeup products. So this is a way in which we are intentionally building out our makeup offerings to really have it stand as another category for RIMAN brand. And so within the various offerings we are currently developing for our makeup, we are looking towards creating a mascara. And with the creation of these various products, we're looking at key ingredients we have already upheld or that are unique to us. Of course, that giant Byungpul, but Desserty Cola or Swamel, all the different ways in which these ingredients can be maximized and utilized in formulation that you haven't yet seen. So with that in mind, first, she had announced mascara as a potential for 2026, and she followed with the potential for an eyelash serum. And this is extremely important because I get so many requests within the Ritual inbox to produce an eyelash serum. And again, we're looking towards ways in which we can create something with those patented ingredients that has that benefit of growth for your lashes. We furthermore updated that we will be looking towards formulating lip liners as well. And these will complement our current lip tints, which themselves have the capabilities of expanding in shade offerings, but we're looking towards formulating a lip liner. And I've already seen a couple versions, a couple iterations, and they're fantastic. And so with the concept of a stick makeup product, we also are looking towards creating an eyeliner. And so similarly, while these are going to be very focused in their cosmetic coverage in the pigment they produce, we are looking for ways in which we can infuse them with beneficial ingredients. And last but not least, we're also looking towards eyeshadows. And again, the eyeshadow category is fantastic for creating beautiful pigments to really allow you to have a full face of RIMAN, both underneath in your skincare and on the surface in your in your cosmetic coverage. And I'm sorry, that was not last but not least. We are also looking at brow pencils. So brow pencils are another formulation that we've done a couple of iterations of that we have intentions of launching in 2026. And so with that all in mind, take this as a commitment to expanding our makeup line. And while there's not much education behind it because these formulations are still developing, we're still getting feedback about what individuals want in these formulas, just know that they're coming. And so mascara, eyelash serum, lip liner, eyeliner, eyeshadow, eyebrows, and beyond with that. If we create these things, and we will, but when creating these things, we're not looking at them being the final offerings within the makeup. We're just simply looking at the next step. And from there, we're going to continue to gather feedback, continue to gather what you want and what you need in our makeup offerings. So on that same note, and in that same session, Miss Betty Perez also hinted at expanding our lightening offerings here in North America. Some of you may know that Korea has a couple of different offerings that we do not carry. And with any line, we always look at the viability of a product within a specific market. We look towards, how saturated that market is, the opinions on specific products within our market, and ultimately to decide if a product is worth bringing to our own. And so that's why for a couple of years, you might have seen those discrepancies in what was offered in Korea and what's even offered in some of these newly opening markets versus what's here in North America. But here is a commitment to expanding our lightening offerings. And I can't give you more detail than that, but we are committing to it. All right, so Those were the more general product updates and product announcements we had at Roadmap. I always want to say convention, but convention is what we do typically in the beginning of the year. But with that in mind, there's so much product innovation and product development that eventually there will be so much education on it that I, of course, will encourage and will host for you all to understand more about these potential new formulations. But we're now going to transition, to what was my segment of Roadmap. And this segment was going to break out a little more in depth on an educational piece to set us up for a further announcement. And so in our transition, we're going to take a step back and look at K-Beauty. Look at what it means for us to be formulating as a K-Beauty brand. So we always reinforce that we are K-Beauty because it is immediately coming with these positive connotations because it is trending right now. And while it is trending, we always say that it is not a trend. And so despite that rhetoric, we also acknowledge that because it is trending, it gives RIMAN an immediate familiarity, that people almost feel like they know the products, they know the product types, and they're more open to trying them as well. With that in mind, though, that familiarity and this current trend is not without years and years of history and of use habits, so to speak. And so as you may know, the K-Beauty brand and the K-Beauty rhetoric draws from generational teachings that produce not only innovative products, but they have a fundamental purpose. So K-Beauty is really focused on that romanticized approach to your self-care, that every single day we all may appreciate skincare to some degree, but that if you change your perspective, if you practice agency in your routine, you may be able to transition it to self-care. And so within K-Beauty and specifically with RIMAN, we want you to prioritize self-care every single day, to slow down and to honor yourself through the application of your products. This ultimately allows you to achieve aesthetic beauty externally, but internal beauty as well in terms of your confidence and in your relaxation if self-care is something that brings you relaxation. And so in our understanding and responsibility of formulating within K-Beauty, we're looking for ways in which we can help you care for your skin. Yes, we so often focus on skincare routines as a methods of anti-aging or reducing hyperpigmentation or general skin issues that we're looking to treat. But in our approach to formulating with K-Beauty in mind, it's not simply about appearance and about what you're trying to target. It's about the importance, how crucial it is to care for your skin, even if it feels healthy. Your skin needs that daily support, and ultimately that will come in an aesthetic glow. And so that's why we always prioritize preventative protection and prevention of the skin rather than problem solving. And to do that, we utilize gentler ingredients, and you have to utilize consistency in your daily application, not only to build up habits and to build up that responsibility, but to ultimately see results, because those gentler ingredients need that time to saturate the skin every single day, need that time to really have their effect on the skin that remains long-term. And so within those guidances of prevention and protection, we, of course, also have our K-Beauty tenets, and all of our product offerings can be categorized into one of these tenets, which have been reduced down to the most fundamental behaviors within any skincare routine, and that's outside of K-Beauty as well. You start with your cleansing that removes impurities and prepares your skin for the absorption of future products, and you next go in with hydration. This ensures not only that basic cellular function, but hydration is crucial for so many different skin issues, so to speak, or rather a lack of hydration is the aggressor for so many skin issues. Not only does a lack of hydration often lead to the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, but of course it can create dry skin and thusly dullness, and it can also even encourage an overproduction of oil or sebum, leading to perhaps acne-prone skin. So as simple as a behavior that as simple as hydration is as a behavior, it is so important for your skincare. And so we're looking at it for basic cellular health, but also for that aesthetic glow, that K-Beauty Korean glass skin, and ultimately for the minimization of skin concerns. And to lock in all of those efforts, you have your protect steps. This allows you to preserve your efforts while also defending against external aggressors for that prolonged skin health. I actually just worked on a RIMAN Days that's coming out in a couple of weeks about the importance of protecting your skin, specifically with antioxidants and against UV overexposure, because reactive oxygen species can cause so many damages to the skin itself. So in highlighting these three tenets, no one of them can exist without the others. They are all equally important for genuine skin health. And oftentimes we do focus on the hydrate. The hydrate is so easy to talk about because our Giant Young Pool and the Boo, the Dermatology Cream, those products really focus on that hydration. Even the Radiance and 100 products, which are more oil focused, bring hydration to the skin. But today we're actually taking a different route, and we're looking at cleansing specifically. So as I've mentioned, cleansing removes impurities, prepares the skin, but sometimes it kind of seems of the least glamorous step, I would say. It's a product that you wash off. You don't leave it on, versus your serums and your creams. You get to experience those textures. You get to experience how they absorb into your skin. But cleansing often gets overlooked. It is equally as important in this routine as I have just mentioned. And the concept of cleansing itself has legacy. It has a history. And so many different early peoples are actually credited with the concept of cleansing, and that they would use stone or bone fragments and scrape surface impurities off of their skin. And later civilizations, many of which were credited with the first development of soap. But of course, we're talking about K-beauty, we're talking about Korea. So here you have a quote from a historical observance of one of the kingdoms of the Three Kingdom period, which is the Shilla Kingdom. And in the Shilla Kingdom, people regularly took baths as a daily part of their routine, because it was believed rather that a pure heart accompanied a clean body. So again, we see that theme of romanticizing your routine. Yes, cleansing is a necessity, but it's beyond that. And many of you may have had that similar experience. You had an extra long day, perhaps a tiresome day, and you finally get into a shower or in a hot bath, and you feel that day washing away. There is that therapeutic cleansing that not only is happening externally, but internally with your soul as well. And of course, as science has developed, we have so many different ways now to cleanse our skin. We have different product types, we have different surfactant molecules or cleansing systems, whether it of course is an oil cleanser, a foam, a gel cleanser, but all of it is still based within that fundamental appreciation of cleanliness, of removing impurities, of encouraging the removal of dead skin cells, and of opening the pores to absorb specific products that you apply afterwards. Now, with that all said and done, there is the question of, why do we cleanse every single day? Why is this something that has to be part of your innate routine? Yes, we understand that it is important to remove impurities and to encourage the desquamation or sloughing off of dead skin cells. But it's crucial that we cleanse both morning and night, even if you don't have makeup on or sunscreen on, because there's always going to be surface and even deeper lodged impurities that the eye cannot see. And with that cleansing, we also encourage the skin cell turnover, as I've mentioned. And your skin cell turnover cycle happens roughly every 4 weeks, and your body does so naturally. But sometimes those dead skin cells are a little stubborn, and they stay adhered to the surface most layer of your skin and do not properly slough off. So cleansing, even in a way that's not enzymatic or it's not exfoliation, can still help soften those keratin bonds and ultimately remove the dead skin cells for a more smooth skin, as well as a brighter appearance. And of course, lastly but not least, enhancing absorption of the other topicals in your routine, especially in the ways in which you cleanse. Depending on the cleanser you're using and at what temperature your water is at, it can prepare the pores quite nicely for that absorption. But as you had seen in the previous slides, people used a variety of different methods to cleanse in history. They used bone, stone, they used, not primary, I'm trying to think of way back then soaps, but they utilize these to clean because that was the tools they had. But today, why do we use cleansers? Why can't we go and just scrape our skin off with stone or rock that we found outside? I digress. We use cleansers because many of the environmental impurities on your skin are not water soluble. You need those cleansers to effectively remove them from your skin and effectively wash them off. And so in that concept, many cleansing systems utilize what are known as surfactants. And these surfactants lower the surface tension on the surface of your skin. This allows for that picking up of various impurities and the eventual removal of them. Those surfactant systems also create what are known as micelles. And these are basically microscopic bubbles. And these bubbles surround around the oil and the dirt. And that's how you can kind of pick them up off the skin. So cleansers are the way in which you actually get a good clean. And furthermore, with utilization of cleansers, as I've previously mentioned, should it have a little bit more exfoliating activity or perhaps enzymes such as the Snow Enzyme Cleanser, you get an encouraged desquamation or sloughing off of dead skin cells, which once in a while the skin needs help with. But in our K-beauty roots, we of course are focusing not only on cleansing, but on double cleansing. And so double cleansing is that concept of focusing on the science of solubilities to get a complete clean on the skin. You first go in with your oil-based cleanser to dissolve oil-based impurities, your makeup, your SPF, even sebum that's built up throughout the day. So even men who perhaps do not wear makeup, they too can still cleanse with an oil-based cleanser first. you must always then go in with a water-based cleanser, because that oil-based cleanser, like our moisture cleansing oil, is always going to leave a bit of residual oils on the skin that need to be rinsed off completely with a following cleanser. But that water-based cleanser does exactly that. It removes those residual oils, gets further impurities that are more deeply lodged within the pores, and ensures that your skin is completely clean. And the concept of K-Beauty double cleanse, or double cleansing in general, dates back to the 14th century. Mainly it was observed in East Asia, both in Korea and in Japan, in which women would utilize natural oils, rice bran, or even bean paste to dissolve the oil, dissolve the makeup off their skin before cleansing with water or their preliminary soap. And so with RIMAN, I hope you all know by now your cleansing offerings, your RIMAN double cleansing offerings. Your step one is that moisture cleansing oil. It is 76% just natural oils. Very gently is going to dissolve all those different impurities, but still keeping your skin intact. But then you go in with your step two, that water-based cleanser. And we have two different potential offerings, the cleansing powder wash or our snow enzyme cleanser. Now, our cleansing powder wash is our more exfoliating cleanser. Those with oily skin types that have that layer of protective lipids, so to speak, can use it daily. But otherwise, we recommend swapping it in once or twice, even 2 to 3 times a week, but otherwise using our snow enzyme cleanser. And the snow enzyme cleanser is that more hydrating counterpart. Yes, it still has enzymes for that slight desquamation of dead skin cells, removing those keratin bonds, adhering the skin cells to the surface, but it's more hydrating in its other components of formulation. Now, with that in mind, very similar to the rhetoric we had with our makeup and including more makeup offerings, with our commitment to innovating within tradition, we utilize tradition to guide us in the fundamentals, and thusly we have established the fundamentals in our current product offerings. But we have science still, and science will always guide you to a potential new future. And specifically with RIMAN, in our commitment to the RIMAN difference, there is difference in a way of always creating something new, or rather, difference can always be achieved if you're constantly looking for the new thing, the unique thing. And so in our commitment with specifically Mr. On, in his establishment of Ask Base, of Ask Labs, of having science at the heart of RIMAN, we would be remiss to not utilize those various assets to create new, to create our difference over and over again. As such, you can believe that RIMAN is not only K-Beauty with its roots, but it also has wings. And so I had the pleasure of introducing at Roadmap the all-new balancing gel cleanser in our cleansing category for RIMAN. Now, within the name, you can see it has a GB, and of course that GB stands for Giant Byung Pool. So as we're continuing our innovation offerings, we're looking for ways in which we can maximize those patented and heritage ingredients in ways you have yet to see. Our current cleansing offerings do not have our Centella asiatica, and so this is something entirely new, and that Giant Byung Pool actually benefits the performance of this cleanser. Now, in the name gel cleanser, it is a very not basic, but simplistic system in initial perception. It is a gel consistency. It is water clear. However, you can visualize that Giant Byung Pool as small specks in formulation. And there's not many products within the market where you can see that. Some of you may know, I believe it's the Clean and Clear Morning Burst Cleanser, where it has that clear cleanser gel and it has those little beads within it. This is something entirely different. This is exactly Giant Byung Pool, raw Giant Byung Pool material infused into formulation. You can see the plant leaves in your formula. However, with that in mind, the utilization of the Giant Byung Pool is to ensure that this product is a gentle cleanser. So this cleanser specifically is designed to be an entry-level cleanser for those new to RIMAN or simply new to skincare. Perhaps they were using hand soap previously, which is crazy. But with the utilization of the gel cleanser, if someone is perhaps not open to trying the cleansing powder wash or the double cleanse, just giving them this is an immediate first step and introduction into RIMAN. But furthermore, this formulation was really focused on sensitive skin types and acne-prone skin types. So this is a perfect application for those that have easily inflamed skin. It is a vegan formulation, it is low allergen, and it's been formulated to your skin's natural pH as well. And so with that all in mind, of course, there's a million fantastic key ingredients in the formula because there are so many different cleansers on the market. You have to create something unique. And we already did so with our previous cleansers. So this one has to stand out on its own. As I had mentioned, we have our Giant Byung Pool and we have it in two different forms. It's in Giant Byung Pool P100 and our Giant Byung Pool leaf extract. That P100 is the powdered version of our Giant Byung Pool leaves. And so it's going to give a little bit of a physical exfoliation to the skin, but very gentle in its own right. And that Giant Byung Pool extract is going to go in to maintain skin hydration and anti-inflammatory care as you are cleansing the skin. This next key ingredient is fascinating, SeboClear MP. So SeboClear MP is a natural extract, and it's specifically plant bioflavonoids that have shown to restore the microbiome and balance the skin, even in a rinse-off system. And similarly, in its in vitro studies, it showed to control sebum and also reduce inflammation. And when I looked towards the various studies on this raw material, it further extrapolated on the benefits for acne or acneic skin, acne-prone skin, and it's able to inhibit the proliferation of the C. acnes germ, which creates many different acne lesions. And it showed to have a retinoic acid-like effect for skin clarification. So this is a fantastic ingredient to have in this system. And as it is that natural plant material, it is very gentle to the skin in its performance. The next ingredient is tannin complex HR. You may be familiar with tannins. They're present in a variety of foods we come in contact with, like pomegranates or even grapes, but tannins have this tightening and smoothing behavior to the skin. So specifically, they tighten your pores and greatly help your skin texture as well. And then of course, in many different RIMAN offerings, we have hyaluronic acid. This is such a stable humectant to maintain hydration of the skin, which of course we have that giant young pole for similar activity, but that hyaluronic acid really helps maintain the hydration throughout your entire cleansing process. And it also softens the keratin bonds that I had mentioned for the dead skin cells. Specifically, it softens the cornified layer. And the cornified layer is just the scientific term for that kind of hard, dead layer on the very most surface of your skin. These last two extracts are also both natural extracts, and it's the Nidium officinale root extract and the Gypsophila, oh my gosh, every time I try to say this, I have a horrible time, Gypsophila paniculata root extract. So the Nidium officinale root extract conditions and revitalizes the skin quite simplistically, and the Gypsophila is fantastic because it's another raw material that aids in the cleansing capabilities of this cleanser. It specifically is rich in saponins, which are naturally derived mild surfactants. And so these natural surfactants help with the cleansing system of this product. So even at the basic behavior of this product as a cleanser, you're getting the natural benefits from not only this extract, but from that powdered giant young pole as well. To use this product, it's going to be quite simple. It is simply either after your moisture cleansing oil in a double cleansing routine, or it can be used as your sole cleanser. And you simply need a wet hand and wet face, work it into a rich lather, and rinse it off with lukewarm water. And so for many of you that are on the call today, or perhaps those of you who were not present at Roadmap, you may be wanting to get your hands on this ASAP. You may be so excited to try it out. Perhaps you have, a desire for your skin that you haven't been able to achieve the current cleansers. And so you want this cleanser to try it. Well, thankfully, you do not have to wait long because this is coming this December of 2025. So we'll be on the shelves coming December. And this is specific to North America, so to the US and Canada. But of course, that could also be paralleled depending on the various other markets. Now, I'm going to transition one more time within this call. And so we always highlight the importance of tradition and innovation and the responsibility we have behind that innovation. With that in mind, we also acknowledge the importance of humility on our innovation and specifically in feedback on that innovation. Because realistically, who cares who prioritizes this innovation if it doesn't fill a need within your life? As you may know, our mission statement for RIMAN is to design and create products that empower individuals to be the difference they seek in their worlds. So ultimately, our goal is to create products with a purpose in your world, something that you can visualize yourself using. And so without you, your wants, your dreams, the innovation ultimately loses its purpose. And with that in mind, and in our humility, we are here to facilitate change when you request it. And so the end of my discussion came with a final commitment to the return of the Bodolab Swamel Nourishing Body Cream in its original scent. And it will come officially this December as well. Now, original scent is not very RIMAN for the name, so it's going to be labeled our Morning Garden Fragrance, but is the entirely same natural oil scent blend that the previous body cream had as well. And so as you can see here, that's the power behind your feedback. So always be open to telling us what you want, what you miss, etc. We want to hear it because innovation is a moment for collaboration. And so with that, I close with this sentiment. So we promise to embrace the science. We promise to commit ourselves to that research, to that science, to that innovation. So you don't have to think about your skincare. We want to ensure that's a no-brainer for you to pick up a RIMAN product and to use it wholeheartedly. And so in that design, And in that effort, rather, where you can pick up something effortlessly and use it daily, that's how you get one step closer to your self-care without having to read ingredient labels and obsess over specific labels. And so we are committed to not only that research and creating the newness, but to also researching you, understanding you, and what you ultimately want in terms of RIMAN. And so that sums up our product announcements that were at our 2025 RIMAN roadmap. And I am so excited for all this stuff that is to come. If you have any questions, while I can't extrapolate too much on some of the new development, like in lightening or in the makeup, please still feel free to reach out to me at the ritual@riman inbox. Happy to answer any questions you may have, especially about the upcoming cleanser or the return of the body cream. But on the concept of education, I am also happy to announce that Product University is back. Many individuals I ran into at Roadmap were wondering, when would Product University be back? I want to sign up for Product University. I want recognition at Long Beach, which is in the end of February. So it is officially back come October. Now, I want to note that the very first call, so our session 1, is on October 2nd, which is actually a Thursday. But traditionally, Product University is every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PT. We shifted it one day over to make room for our monthly rundown, which will be on October 1st at 5 p.m. But it'll start October 2nd, and every week beyond, it'll be on the following Wednesday up until November 19th. And so as many of you know, some people who are repeat attendees, you learn very in-depth topics, so to speak, on hair and skin physiologies in the RIMAN products, digestion, nutrition in the RIMAN products, RIMAN formulation, product values, really going in depth on a lot of things that make our products unique and different. And in such a saturated industry that is personal care, sometimes that education is what you need to feel committed to something new, to something that truly speaks to you. Now, you can register via Zoom here with this QR code. We are also dropping the Zoom link in the chat, so you can register there. What's crucial is that you use the same username that is in your My Office or in your back page. I forget what the name of the background is now, but make sure you use the same email, because we use the repetition of your email in attendance to pull for recognition. So please utilize your same email that you have back there and use the same email for every sign up you do. For any of you that are currently signing up as we speak, when you click on whatever date you wish to attend, make sure you scroll down and have the November dates also displayed. We traditionally see a drop off in attendance come the second month of the Product University sessions, because Zoom likes to hide the 4 additional dates. So make sure you have all 8 dates checked, and then Zoom will send you a confirmation email. It'll also send you a reminder email a day before and an hour before that week's Product University. But I'm so excited to get this back up and started, and I'm so excited to see many new students. But that is all we had for today. I so appreciate you all taking the time, whether you did come to Roadmap or you were unable to attend. I appreciate your attention and your focus